Hey guys, this is Gary with Liberty Road Defense and Pistol Training, and this is another Mindset Monday. Today I want to talk about conditioning. I want to talk specifically about conditioning your mind, your brain, your thought processes to overcome the prohibition that society has on taking another human life. It seems like society is perfectly willing to accept that criminals take innocent people's lives, but then it throws them for a loop when an innocent person defends themselves and takes a criminal's life. Okay, so we've been kind of conditioned since we were small children to that, defending ourselves, even defending ourselves and hurting someone else is bad. To be successful in a critical incident, you need to program your mind past that. Okay? Just like Pavlov's dog. Every time he heard the bell, Pavlov gave him some food. And pretty soon, he didn't even need to see the food. He just needed to hear the bell before his mouth salivated. So you need to condition yourself. One of the ways that the military and the federal government conditions federal agents and military troops to take another life is by giving them realistic targets to practice on. And over time, they become kind of desensitized to the idea of taking a human life. Interesting side note on that, prior to the current president, our FBI and Department of Homeland Security used realistic targets, and the subject of those targets was Muslim terrorism. Okay, so all of those targets were based on terrorists. Okay, shortly after the current president took office, those targets changed, and a new set of targets began to be used. And the subject of those targets are white, children, pregnant women, and old couples. Okay, so I'll leave that out there. I'm just going to leave that right here for you. Okay. So what do you need to do to condition yourself past that so that you won't hesitate at the moment of truth? Simple. Use a realistic target. We kind of sort of already do that with the silhouette targets, and I know that certain gun rights groups that I'm not going to say their name, NRA, frown on using realistic targets, but truthfully, you have to. It's part of the process to become a good defense pistol shooter. So some of the targets that I've seen recently that would make good targets to practice that sort of thing on, the guy in the ski mask, always a good target. Big guy in a black ski mask with a gun pointing out, that's a good target to practice on. The crazy guy, obviously drug overdosed guy in the wife beater t-shirt with the gun pointing at you, that's another good one. The 70s hippie, kind of greasy, long hair, long mustache guy with his arm around the neck of a blonde girl and the gun pointed out at you, that's another good target. What these targets are designed to do is get you used to pointing your gun at something that looks like a human. Okay? One thing to remember though, most of the time, it's not going to be the big guy in the ski mask, or the drug overdose guy with the crazed look in his eye, or even the greasy 70s throwback that is coming to take your life. Most of the time, according to the FBI, it's someone you know. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that these targets aren't valid, because the object of the game here is to overcome the prohibition of shooting another person. Okay. If you want to go to the Muslim terrorist targets, knock yourself out. Osama bin Laden is always one of my favorite targets. Okay. But just put that in. Remember, one side of the shooter's triangle is combat mindset. This will help you develop your combat mindset. It will help you to go from zero to deadly instantly without thought. And they say that the winner of the fight, good or bad, is always the person who's willing to take and escalate the level of violence to the highest necessary level the fastest. Okay? So that guy coming at you, he may already have escalated his level of violence to this level. You have to escalate yours to a higher level. Okay? So, for Liberty Road Defensive Pistol Training, this is Gary. Remember, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.